history, faith, and freedom.
All right, Rutherford Magazine Show. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. Jackson, how you doing? Did you have a nice trip you took recently?
I did.
Where'd you head to?
New York.
Oh, really? You got family up there?
No.
You don't?
No.
What brought you up here? Just vacation?
Vacation.
Really? I've never been to New York. Would you go to New York City?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is it difficult to travel around up in there?
Difficult? I wouldn't say it was difficult. Just a
Just
lot of walking.
Subway and
Yeah, walking, subway.
yeah.
Great.
I've never been up there. Joshua Rosales may call in here in a minute, but meantime, I've got guests tonight. I've got Julie Hadcock with Prison Ministry. Is it American Job Center and that's going to be Jeff Glidden with American Job Center. Now, what's the difference between y'all's two roles?
I call him myself his assistant.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I work for Sharing Next Step Resources, so we are the people that work with the justice-involved individuals.
Yes.
And we meet at the Career Center and use their facilities and tag along behind them.
Now, how long have y'all been involved over there?
I've been involved over there since 2019, just
Okay.
recently, the last 2 years,
Okay.
more so.
Yeah, and if folks don't know where that's at, that's Old Fort Parkway. Now, on American Job Center, do y'all partner with the Job Coach buses?
Yes,
Workforce
we do.
Development,
That's
Department of Labor.
also part of our division of the Department of Labor.
I had an expungement community event. Did y'all get to help with that? I couldn't remember if y'all did. Is it Parkway Baptist?
It probably, the Job Coach, it's basically the mobile American Job Center.
Yeah.
So,
I think it was 2 years ago, I believe. I don't think we had the coach there, but we had the, I think they called it Justice Bus. I believe it came out. And I think it was able to help a few people, but the system, for those that have had problems like years ago, it is not user friendly. Put it that way. I've found, and there's no lobbyists for these issues. You know what I mean? I know y'all may not want to say anything, but I always say if there's a lobbyist, tell me who it is, because I don't know who it is. But these are important issues: workforce development, trying to get people back to work and be productive members of society.
that's right. Our mandate with the American Job Centers, we work with individuals that have barriers to being able to get jobs and get their lives back. So
Yes.
it's reentry is one of our primary groups that we work with.
Yeah.
So we're just expanding every day what we do in our partnerships. That's
You know
how
I'm seeing the workforce development issue where, like, we had one guy that came and I had a sister pass away this week. We just buried her yesterday, and so she'd been nursing home for 6 years, and I've kind of watched the lack of workforce sometimes in nursing homes. I mean, I don't know if y'all been through anybody in a nursing home.
I have.
You have? I mean, it's not a pretty sight, I'll be honest with you. And watched my sister really suffer for 6 years. I mean, she was confined really to a hospital bed. I mean, sometimes they put her in a wheelchair. But, man, it was just employee turnover. I bet McDonald's and Taco Bell can retain employees better than the nursing home she was in.
Well, it takes a certain type of employee. Jeff's probably a better expert than me, but I know working with the men and women that I work with, a lot of them, they're all second chance. I work
Yes.
only with justice-involved individuals, the technical name now for everyone instead of saying felons, but someone with a misdemeanor charge or someone that's been in the healthcare facilities sometimes can go back to work there, but it takes a certain type of individual anyway, as you know, working with our
Well,
people.
you must be a believer, aren't you?
I am.
You must be a Christian to have a heart for this kind of stuff.
I
Jeff,
am.
you a believer?
Yes, sir.
All right, putting you on the spot, ain't I?
That's
Is that
all right.
okay?
That's fine.
I like doing that. I do it. I do it in my office. People are like, "You shouldn't do that." I'm like, "Well, just when people have that hesitation, like I had a cousin come in when my mom died, and I hadn't seen him since I was like 16 or 17, and I said, man, are you a believer? Christian?" He was like, he had all these pauses and oohs and ahs, and he's like, "Well, I could tell he wasn't." And I said, "Well, you ever seen a miracle like that?" And he says, "Man, I have. I think I have." And I said, "What was it?" Because my mom was a strong believer, and I got to share this story because it's pretty cool. That they went camping, and my mother's from Scotland, his dad's from Scotland, and they're real tight. The Scots are known for being very frugal, thrifty. And he said my dad decided to rent this camper, like a little bus camper, and I don't know if it's a VW or what. And he said, man, it never would start. He said it had to be the cheapest hunk of junk they had on the lot. And he says we were camping, me and my sister. I guess they were like 10 and 11, and he said they were traveling around Scotland, and the bus wouldn't start. It just wouldn't start. He said, man, your mom just went over and started praying. And he said, man, I seen her when she touched the van. She touched that hood with her hands. It started up. He said, I was up. He said, I was like, wow. He said, so we started praying. He said, yeah, I always kind of looked at that as kind of a miracle. But to work, I'm not saying you got to be a Christian to work with folks, but I think you have to have. It's a ministry, isn't it?
It is. It's a ministry. You have to have a passion.
Yes, and speaking of ministry, I've got Joshua Rosales on the line. Joshua, how you doing?
Hey, doing great, Mike. How are you?
Doing good. You get to hear what we were talking about?
Yes, about the nursing homes.
Well, we're also talking about workforce development and helping folks that have maybe made mistakes in their life, like we all have. I mean, the only difference between me and others, I just didn't get caught. You know what I mean? I mean, when I was a teenager and stuff. But you had an event you wanted to promote that I told you I'd have you call in.
Yeah, definitely. So Francis and I, we are hosting our third annual backpack giveaway, July 25th at Blackman High School from 3 to 5. The goal is to give out 600 backpacks, and we'll have popsicles as well.
Yeah.
And we're gathering school supplies. So anyone interested in either donating supplies or needing a backpack, they can go to breakthroughtn.com. That's breakthroughtn.com. Through it's spelled THRU, so breakthroughtn.com. But yeah, we're getting ready to. We're planning right now and gathering resources.
Well, when you do it at the school, do you have room for other vendors?
Yes. So yeah, we're planning this year as well to have other vendors join us, and we got some great vendors already supporting us, and we have some others that I'm talking to. And so, it's crazy because, in the Blackman area, having our backpack giveaway here, you would think that, not a lot of people need backpacks, but it's crazy. Last year and the year before that, we've had people from Smyrna, Laverne, Nashville, all over Middle Tennessee come up to get backpacks, and the line is absolutely long.
Is it really?
And, yeah, we get rid of our backpacks in probably hour and a half, everything's gone.
Well, are y'all looking for donations? I mean, items to put in the backpacks?
Yeah, we're looking for, if you're looking to donate school supplies, we have a list that you can get school supplies. Let us know. I'll pick them up. We'll meet. If you're looking to give a donation for backpacks, we're still looking for donations as well. But you can just get a hold of us through breakthroughtn.com and leave us a message, and then we'll be able to reply.
Well, if you can, get Scott and Brian Barrett a press release on that, and they could probably do some audio and do a little news clip, for you on there.
That'd be great.
Get it out there early on. Murfreesboro Post is really good about putting press releases out there. Ivan Aranin, you could contact him. He'd put it out there. Well, any final words before I head back to my guest?
No, just thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on and highlight our backpack giveaway July 25th from 3 to 5 at Blackman High School. We're also, I think we're going to be, grilling up some hot dogs. We got popsicles, backpacks, school supplies, and we got quite a few volunteers. If anyone's interested in volunteering, donating school supplies, or donating money, definitely go to breakthroughtn.com. We'd love to connect them with them there.
Yes. Thank you for what you do, brother.
Hey, thank you, Mike. Thank you for being our state representative, the best state representative.
Yeah,
in
you ain't got to say
Tennessee.
that, man. I appreciate that, brother. Check's in the mail. I'm going to have to get you some, okay? Put me on. I'll
Okay.
get you a check, brother. God bless you, man. All right, thank you. We'll see you. But with my sister's passing, man, I tell you, I was, you see so much brokenness. I spoke at her funeral yesterday. Thank you to my pastor, Brother Shelby Hazard, for letting us do it at Parkway Baptist. The church she did attend for many years, when she had a bad fall 6 years ago, and she had a brain tumor at 30. She was 62 when she passed, but I don't think her old church, I don't remember anybody ever coming to visit her or trying to see her or anything like that. So, but my sister, I was sharing this with Brian the other day. One of the issues I've tried to take on is music therapy, and I'm the least guy that's qualified to talk about this subject. I'm not qualified at all, but I like that old adage that says, God didn't call the qualified, but he qualifies the called. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. But my sister, sadly, when she was, first when she had to fall, she had a brain bleed. So she went into a coma, and she was there and tied up at the hospital, for life support and all that for 6 weeks. And I remember I prayed. I said, Lord, if you're not going to heal my sister, you need to take her. And I hate to say that. Within 4 or 5 minutes, hospital called, said she opened her eyes, started talking. Just said a few words, but she just never was, really wasn't able to kind of come out of it, I guess, and her, got where she couldn't walk. But I tell you one thing, I don't know if anybody's been through this kind of stuff, but boy, it's rough if you had to go through it. But I tell you somebody that really disappointed me. My sister, she was a rock star back in the day, MVP, Smyrna High School softball, and a tremendous athlete. She went to school to be a journalist and had a college scholarship. And then she didn't want to get in the dirty laundry, what I would call fake news, because there is a lot of fake news. I mean, there's good news stories, but sometimes they'll twist it with a kind of narrative with an agenda to make somebody look bad. I've witnessed it, and I've been the brunt of it on many occasions. And my sister went to insurance sales, and she succeeded. She was doing good at insurance. She was, number one with the company, and she bought a cancer policy at 29, 30, and then diagnosed with a brain tumor. It did help her, and she had that Humana policy. Don't ever buy Humana, folks. I mean, let me tell you, I would call them, and they would, while she's in a coma, we didn't know what to do as a family. Man, they'd say, yeah, she's got 120 days of skilled nursing. The nursing home would apply for it, and they'd turn her down. I'd be on the phone, they'd tell me a good thing, and then the insurance company would turn the nursing home down. So don't ever buy a Humana insurance policy. And oddly enough, I'm on the state's insurance committee. That's always going to stay with me, because I watched a video of her the other day. She was like riding like a bicycle with her legs, I guess after she had, when she was first in there. So I was thinking, is there a chance my sister could be here today? But was it Humana that put her in the grave? Because of lack of help, lack of support. That's going to stay with me the rest of my life. So don't ever buy a Humana policy. Shop around if you got a policy. Throw it in the trash, because that's what it was worth to my sister. But anyways, I had to get that ran out. We buried her yesterday, and but going back on music therapy, about three or 4 years ago, I heard my sister singing, and she was in a wheelchair trying to escape the nursing home. Kind of comical in a way, and she was singing "Country Road, Take Me Home, Place I Belong." I thought, well, what a song to be singing! She wants to come home, and she didn't know my name. And then I was like, man, there's got to be something with music for healing dementia, Parkinson, and there are music therapists. Did you know this?
There is.
I did not know. Jeff, do you know this?
Mm-hmm.
I was clueless. I didn't know about music therapists. Have y'all used it with your program?
Yeah, we use music therapy. We use horse therapy and dogs.
Yeah.
Things like that with people with PTSD, whether they're veterans or if they're just have been incarcerated for many, many years. They find it a good way to be able to reach people and have them relax and the anxiety be lessened. So yes, we use all of those things.
Well, I watch it. I had, if somebody would have told me this 10 years ago, I would have just scoffed at all that kind of stuff, and but their trauma is real. ACEs, childhood trauma is real. ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, is real, and but with this issue, just we just tried to bring awareness to it. Music Therapy Week, and done it I think 2 years in a row. And I had some music therapists. Like I said, I didn't know there really were music. I just thought it was, somebody like J.T. Cooper playing guitar because he's got Warrior Rounds, or Ron Alley with the group down there in Smyrna, Carpe Artista, and so there really are music therapists. I didn't know there's formal training, and so I had some music therapists up in the office this year, and a lot of it was about average probably 22 years of age, 21. They're all in college, and I was talking about David in the Bible. All his adversity was an opportunity. So many times our trials, tribulations really are positive. We just don't see it at the moment. And I was like, I always remember what David said. He says, God delivered me from the paws of a lion, paws of a bear. He'll deliver me on this day. And to think of the confidence he had, but then he had his brothers that were scoffing him and didn't believe in him, ridiculed him. And there was only one young man that was music therapy, just one young man, just one. And when he was leaving, it was so cool. He says, remember, David was a musician. I never thought about it. You ever thought about that? I've never thought of that. You think of David as like a king, a warrior, and this sort of thing. You don't think, man, that guy was a musician. So I thought it was cool. And somebody said, well, that's probably why he was after God's own heart. Was the music probably played a role in it, But do you, with some of y'all's advocacy, do you get into some of the trauma that a lot of really, I'm thinking more of the female inmates, the trauma, and a lot of them, if they've had sexual abuse in their past, and many men as well. Do y'all ever get into some of that kind of discussion and therapy?
Well, definitely with people that have been incarcerated for 10 years or more, you're going to deal with all sorts of issues when they come out. And we have Murfreesboro is loaded, of course, with very qualified people that help us as far as counselors and things. And it's interesting that you brought up the music therapy, because that is a career, and that's one thing about the American Job Center, and that's one reason I take everyone there as soon as they come out of jail or come out of wherever, trauma or treatment centers or anything, is to go right to the Career Center.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Dr. Automotive Auto Repair and Maintenance Mechanic Shop Garage provides car owners in Smyrna, Murfreesboro, Laverne, and the Middle Tennessee area with excellent auto repair services. Deep-rooted experience in serving both foreign and domestic automobiles allows for proper diagnosis in a timely manner. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com, call them at 615-220-0971, or stop on in at 1205 Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a big box or furniture store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by the Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to deliver and install your safe. Don't let a crackhead or illegal deliver your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy a safe in Tennessee. So go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
All right, we're back. Just found out that Jackson's phone was stolen. Where was your phone stolen at, Jackson?
was stolen at a Walmart.
Really?
Yeah.
In Walmart or in the parking lot?
I foolishly left it in a cart, and I forgot to take it out before I got in my car, and I drove off.
Wow. Well, anyways, I can't stand a thief, you know. But Julie, let's go back to what you're talking about. Sadly, I missed your event. I missed your event at the workhouse that you had. Was that last week?
No, we had the event that you were going to come to was our reentry, the Rutherford County Reentry Coalition group that meets once a month, and the Career Center the American Job Center has it there, and they allow me to partner with them on that.
And what happened? I stood y'all up. I missed it.
Well, I wasn't going to tell everybody you stood us up.
I stood you up. Man, I felt so, because we've been planning this thing for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We planned it really a couple of months ago.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You know, I had met with my professor early that morning. And ironically, he wanted to meet with me about it. He wants to do a mentoring program, and Dr. Raj, and we were talking about that. Then I happened to see a guy at a local business that I know. He may not want me to say his name, but he's paralyzed from waist down. He's in a wheelchair, and I'm trying to help him kind of get his record cleaned. And the state probation bureau turned him down. And you don't have nobody lobbying. He don't have an attorney. He's just, and I'm just one person. I'm trying to find out why they turned him down. And he's not a threat to society. He got in trouble. I think he fired off a gun years ago. And but the laws, man, you can't hardly do anything today without, you can get arrested about everything today. Back when I was growing up, I don't know, it just seemed like we had a little bit more community, and people looked out for one another. And if you got in trouble in school, you're going to get in trouble at home. Your parents are going to bust your tail, and at least mine were. But trying to help that gentleman, I ended up missing y'all's event. I felt terrible. So
tell him about it, Jeff.
Sorry.
Tell him what he missed.
Okay. Well, we just it is a partnership. It's agencies and members of the community that are involved in reentry, and that's what we've developed it to try to develop a better communication with us and all the agencies in town that we can get to come, and with employers that will potentially hire a second chance, and it opens their eyes a little bit more to what these individuals are going through. So that's why we developed the partnership, and hope to see it keep growing.
It started in January of 2023 with the first reentry specialist at the American Job Center had hired a woman, Cherie Hinton, and we're very proud of her. In fact, she won't mind me saying she was a justice-involved individual, and I'm proud to say that the American Job Center hired her. Wow. And she went to work, and she is now working in Washington, D.C. in the is it the museum or the library? She's a federal agent. She was able to work through the American Job Center, and she forged ahead, and she's a woman of our dreams, because she is able to do something that she wanted to do for a career, regardless of the mistakes she'd made. And now she's got it expunged, and then went on to get the job that she wanted. So through the American Job Center, and those leads.
Are you familiar with my friend Sherry Jackson with a group called Hugs in Nashville? I am. You know Sherry? You know Sherry's story?
No.
Sherry, it was a God wink moment. I had first met her in Tennessee General Assembly. I was brand new, and she was talking about, she's trying to get more involved, and she wanted to do a job fair. I just handed her a stack of like 25 cards, and man, she put together this massive job fair at the Titans, where the Titans practice at Second Harvest. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Right.
And I had Bernard Salandy. I don't know if you remember. Bernard used to be at the jail, and chief deputy, great guy. And we were going to meet for lunch, and I had some other things going on, and I was running late to meet him. And I said, look, man, I got to be at this job fair down here in Nashville. I said, you know what? And I wasn't even thinking about his position. He was chief deputy over the jail. And I was like, you know what? Why don't you just meet me downtown? I'm going to this event. And I had gave her, I think it was a little donate. It wasn't a lot of money on 2 different occasions. I sponsored some T-shirts. Okay. And I came in, man, they had Fox 17, Channel 5, 4, 92Q. I mean, it was, and this girl, she's passionate because she was locked up for 7 years. And we walked in, the commissioner was there, and even Bernard was like, Mike, this is, God's involved in this thing, man. This is crazy. She had 360 people come through looking for a job. And this is kind of the funny part. You know, I had sponsored T-shirts. So it was me and the late Thelma Harper, Senator Thelma Harper, were on the T-shirt. And Sherry, she said, she had some T-shirts already out. She said, look, if you see somebody running around Nashville with these T-shirts on, somebody stole the box of T-shirts. And remember, it was, you know, so somebody apparently stole the T-shirts. Like, what are you going to do with these T-shirts? But the thing about Sherry, she'd make an awesome speaker, by the way. She's super passionate. And, I mean, she shared some things with me that are so politically incorrect. I'm almost wanting to share them on the radio, but, man, people, they're looking for anything you say to try to use against you. But she literally had a dream. She started telling me about a dream she had when I first met her. And she said when she was in prison, I mean, literally, she's locked up in a jail cell. And she didn't know me from Adam. It's the first time we met. And then she said, well, you come look at my facility. So I rode with her. Remember, I hadn't even been sworn in yet. I don't even know where the bathrooms are at the Legislative Plaza. So we're riding along. And she says, she told me she didn't get much help from folks. She said people talk a good talk and do nothing. And she's like fired up, probably use some expletives as well. And she was telling me she had a dream. She's in prison. She said, God showed her a dream she'll get out of prison on her birthday. So she goes before the judge, and she said that the judge, like, in other words, you're going back to jail, you know. And she's like, but Judge, I had this dream. I'm gonna get out of prison on my birthday, and today's my birthday. And he's like, look, I don't know nothing about that. And he was like, my understanding, you got 2 more warrants out for you. And my understanding of what she says, that the computer system, they couldn't find anything else on the computer, and they released her on her birthday. Now, some people say, oh, that's just coincidental and this and that. But Sherry, man, she's fired up. But she reminded me, she's been to England. Man, remember, she had a bad record years ago. And she grew up in the hood. And remember her calling me. She called me one day. She was crying. And she said, like, you know, she says, it's hard to get out of the hood. It's hard to get out of being stuck there. And she got involved in drugs and some other things. But it was funny. She called me about a year or two ago. She loves England, you know, and I think she even studied at Oxford or something like that. They wanted to come over and speak. She finished up her graduate degree. And in fact, I went to TSU when she graduated. And she's got some kind of special pass where she just at the airport, they just let her go on through. She was laughing because, like, her with all the trouble she had in her past, now she's got this speedy pass. She just goes through. But she really is an inspiration. But she'll tell you like it is. I mean, she's straight out of the hood, and she hadn't let that go. But she loves people. She loves helping people. And you've met folks. I guess the people you've helped, a lot of times they're passionate about helping others, aren't they?
Yes, sir. I started doing this job in December of 2013, and I guess I do call it a passion because it's a story for another day. But I was locked up in Wilson County Jail for a year, not being sentenced, for a check charge from my business that I had, and they just kept rolling my case month after month after month, not ready for it. But then they finally sentenced me, and so I went through almost a year in jail and then 6 years of probation after that. Wow. And so I found that when I got out, it doesn't matter that I've never even had a speeding ticket before, and your life is going to turn upside down. But just like she is, once you're in there, and then once you're involved in it, and once you study it, and you start getting out there and finding out how you can make a difference. Yeah. There are people that make a difference, and there are agencies and people that work together. And with us being the center of the state, if I don't say it before we get off this radio, I'll just bust. But we are the center of the state. Murfreesboro is.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have 940, and we have the greatest workhouse program in the state with with the correctional workhouse there on South Church Street.
How's Bill Cope been to work with?
Bill Cope.
How's he been?
He's
hopefully he'll say something good.
And everyone is just great over there.
He is a good guy.
And I want to thank you for coming, because you came, it might have been 2 years ago, I started teaching there on Friday mornings. I do a concept for living class, and you came to talk to my women that we have a 2-hour class on Friday mornings to teach them about how important it is to get our voting rights back, and about politics and about being part of your community.
Yeah.
Some of those girls have come out of jail and they're doing really well. And one came back from Ohio to meet you. She's going to come. She's going to come
I was
again.
Thinking she's going to call in or something.
No, she's going to come again and visit you.
Man,
sometime.
I felt so bad. I mean, my assistant had called. He was like, "Did you make the meeting?" I said, "What meeting?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "Dude, if you don't stay on me, I get calls and texts. I'll get thrown different direction."
That's okay. You're busy, and it meant a lot to the girls that you came to the class that Friday morning. And so, if more people that are in politics and more people reach out and take time to come visit people, it makes a big difference.
A lot of times, we don't. When I was a county commissioner, we never really got asked to do anything. I would go to the jail. They used to call it the jail tour. I don't know if they still do that with the county commission, but I think it went back like maybe 80 years back or 100 years. And if you were on public safety, you'd do a jail tour. And I'd show up. I'd bring a book or something like roofing or electrical. And I've always kind of had a heart for this, because we talked about that in the scriptures. I mean, what was it? I know you know the scripture probably better than I do. John, was it Matthew 25?
It's Matthew 25 that talks about.
When I was hungry, you fed me.
Yes.
When I was naked, you clothed me.
Yes.
When I was in prison, you visited me. Mm-hmm. And I think we've really forgot that, And to me, that's a conservative issue.
The biggest thing I think too is, I love the saying that you don't give someone a fish, you teach them to fish.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's exactly what I
ma'am.
love, the fact that our community does that. And that's one reason I'm so proud to be partnering with the American Job Center and with people there, because the more we can get people to work together and the more we can educate people to the hardships or the things. It's changed a lot from 2012, though, to get a job now in 2024. There are jobs for people with backgrounds.
Don't you think under Governor Bill Lee's leadership and I mean, at the General Assembly, I think we moved forward with some things.
Yes, it made all the difference in the world, and it's really helped people. And there's so many.
But you got to stay on people. I was going to kid you about who's your lobbyist. You don't have a lobbyist.
I am my lobbyist.
You know what I mean? But it's like all this pain I went through with my sister. When you feel pain, it puts fight in you.
It does.
I mean, it really does. And my sister, if you didn't mind, my sister was so outgoing and just had a love in nature and such an encourager. But I do thank God puts pain in your life for a reason.
That's right. It's a God thing, definitely,
it is.
In this type of ministry and this type of career and job. But I think with more shows like what you're doing right now, more awareness in the community, it makes a big difference. Our meeting is held, is it the third, I never can remember, I have to ask
Third
Jeff.
Tuesday
It's the
of
third
every-
Tuesday of every month, and it's from 11 to 12. Every Tuesday, the third Tuesday of every month. And this month, our speaker will be a probation officer. I won't say her name since I haven't asked her permission, but she'll be our speaker. And I think it's important for employers and business owners and people that attend can find out, because sometimes we put a lot of mean things on the probation and parole officers. They have a tough job.
Well, I was going to ask, isn't the turnover still really high with probation, parole, and the officers? I thought the turnover is really high.
Well, a lot of times we violate our probation and our parole, and we go back to jail, and so that's a big thing. But now that I believe we're working together more as a team, the employers are more willing to give people a second chance to have a job. We have rides to work and ways to get them to work now, so that's a little bit easier. So there's a lot of changes over the last few years, definitely last 5 years.
One of the areas I've been passionate about is the lack of mentors, lack of fathers. In fact, I read off the stats of a young person growing up without a father, and it's extremely alarming. I mean, you look at crime, you look at drug abuse, you look at teen pregnancy, you look at the high school dropout rate. I mean, I think it's the number one issue facing our nation is lack of of fathers, and one of I think it was Justin Pearson. He's out of Memphis. He was one of the ones that got expunged or expelled and last year, and I can get along with these guys. What the other Justin sits behind me, and then I'm not saying he took issue. He just said, well, we don't need to be locking up fathers. And I wasn't on the mic anymore, and I just said, well, I mean, where's that balance? I mean, if you commit a crime, you're gonna do the time. I mean, but what can we do to teach young men to be better fathers, make better decisions? Because here's an area, and I often kid about people not have lobbyists. The prison budget has doubled. It's doubled. It's increased it's 1.2 billion with a B. It's increased $600 million. Think about it, $600 million. What if you could have invested $50 million on the front end with more counselors, job training, helping people get their driver, helping them navigate, because a lot of folks don't have the resources to understand.
That's what we've seen is just people coming out that have no hope of getting a job. So that's what we're trying to show them as they come out. I had a young man come a few weeks ago that said he was released, and everybody told him he'd never be able to get a job. So he didn't. He said he was sitting on his couch, and he saw something about our job fair in camp.
Yeah.
But
how old was he? How old young man was
he? I think probably in his 20s.
Wow.
But so he was, he was just going to hang out till he went back in because he couldn't figure out what to do. But the opportunities are out there. The employers are out there now that are sincerely. And we make sure that they're committed.
Housing is available too. I don't know if the public's aware, but we have over 60 men and women. You can call them sober living homes, halfway houses. Here in Smyrna and Murfreesboro together, we have such a great choice of a good, safe environment for men and women to come out of treatment, to come out of incarceration, and get in these programs in this town. So, there's and in the surrounding, I'm in 19 counties, so there's several houses and several programs if we need people to go different places that we can place them in. But like I said, years ago, that wasn't the case. It was hard to find housing for people with background issues, and now I hate to say they're almost on every corner, but we've got a lot of choices for all sorts of different.
What's the stat? Is it 98% of the folks coming out of prison are going to be back in the community?
Well, I believe, I don't know if it's 98%. I think it's
95.
I think it's closer. Yeah, it's 9. I think it's close to 90%.
Okay.
But they're going to go into the communities. But if we can help it, we try to get. If you have problems here in Murfreesboro, we try to help you get into a county that's surrounding, so you're not in the same area that your problems were in.
Yeah.
And then when you look at that, though, that means Murfreesboro's got men and women coming from surrounding counties to come here to Murfreesboro, and that's kind of the way it works a lot of times. We have the greatest AA meetings, NA meetings, Celebrate Recovery.
Yeah.
We have everything that someone needs in this county if everyone would just pull together and support them and help.
Jeff, I used to ask Bernard. Bernard had been on the radio with me several times. In fact, we've got, I think, a few YouTube videos with Bernard. I think a lot of him. But I used to ask him what the silver bullet was. I'm going to put this guy on the spot. What's the silver bullet? Is there a silver bullet to help change men and women's lives?
Well, I think, part of it is the idea of the coalition is that now by working with coalition, so we get to know each other and we see the resources that are out there, it doesn't matter where they come, that they will be knowledgeable of the resources available, whether it's housing or jobs or child care. There's a lot of resources now that part of it was just within the communities, people just didn't know where to go next. And we know that it's difficult. Transportation is a challenge at the beginning for them to be able to get out and do all these things they have to do. So the more we can pull our resources together to where no matter where they come, we can offer all those resources for housing, for jobs, for all that. So everybody knows that, and we can refer back and forth to each other.
I got called last Friday or Thursday. I got called to the Career Center, and there was a young man who didn't have any background issues, but he was homeless, and he didn't have a place to stay. And we were able to pick up the phone and find a program for him to go to in Lebanon, and we took him to Lebanon that evening. But the Career Center isn't just a place to go for a job. The Career Center is your community resource and cares about people in the community, and they can call the right people. If not me, it can be lots of different places. They can tell you where you can get a meal every night in this town if you're homeless and you need to be fed. There's a place that you can go for showers. There's a place you can go to wash your clothes. There's a place that you can go to have just a hand up and a prayer and someone to listen to you. So we have all the resources that we can think of in a community, which is very proud for me to say.
Celebrate Recovery, they meet at Hope Fellowship Church. In fact, I was invited by my buddy Floyd Barrett to go over. He's been a big advocate for Celebrate Recovery for years. And man, I've heard, and then we've got Kent Hayes that's leading that group. Man, I've heard so many good things about CR.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, that to me is probably one of the best programs from what I've heard. I mean, AA I guess is good too, but Celebrate Recovery, don't they have a little bit more of the faith-based area in there?
Well, it's faith-based, but I go to Celebrate Recovery. Celebrate Recovery can be for anything. I talk too much. I eat too much. And, there's lots of different things that you don't have to just drink or have drug problems. You can have all sorts of just normal problems, too,
Man,
I guess I call them. And we can all go to need Celebrate Recovery.
I sat through one, and I'm not mocking it.
No,
I hope
that's
I don't get
okay.
no trouble, but I sat through one. And you know what I kind of got out of it? I said, because Floyd's a good friend of mine. He always wants me to hear his testimony. I've heard it 5 times, so Floyd's listening. I mean, I'll listen to it again, Floyd, but he's got a strong testimony. I mean, they were so poor, they didn't have an outhouse. I remember going to his farm that he grew up in off Lebanon Road, and their city's loving it. They didn't have an outhouse. He was talking about how embarrassing it was. But I heard these guys talking about their problems, and I was like, I'm happy with the problems I got. Can you relate?
I can.
It's like,
I can relate.
So, but a lot of it, I think, goes back to that family unit and having that family structure there. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back, folks.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps, but I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available at select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Hello and buenos dias. I'm Lisette Lopez, your bilingual real estate agent at Keller Williams Murfreesboro. I specialize in helping you make informed decisions that align with your goals. I'm offering free classes from how to fix your credit to investing to create generational wealth. Start your real estate journey with Lisette Lopez today. Call me at 954-552-4932. The number again is 954-552-4932. Or browse my website at lopezsellstn.kw.com. Thank you.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
AFFI is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in those difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
Jeremy can figure out too. All right, we're back. Weather Magazine Show talking about workforce development, American Job Center, and Next Step Resources. Jeff, we were talking off the air about some of the good things that y'all are doing. So it's www.jobs4tn.gov. Jobs4tn.gov is how folks can find y'all. Now, do you have anybody that specializes in just, if say somebody had a couple of misdemeanors or they got a felony, like Justin Bashir, I don't think Justin will mind me sharing his story. I spoke for him at probation parole. They recommended full pardon for him, or clemency, whatever it's called, on his record. And this guy is a craftsman, and he's got, I think he's adopted or fostered 4 kids, but couldn't get his record clean. Couldn't even coach his kids' ball team. It's really a little messed up, And they're waiting on the governor's signature. We've emailed the governor to hopefully he signs off. But dude's got an awesome test. You need somebody to come speak. Get Justin Bashir. Okay. This dude is a real craftsman. But do you have anybody that specializes in just that one specific area with their records on expungements?
We do reentry. We do have a reentry advisor, and but really what they're to do is to make sure all of our team is ready to respond. If we should have somebody come in that has a background issue or it's just been released, that either way, any of our career specialists should be able to sit down with them, and they do an intake, get them registered on our website, but then they're gonna talk to them about what their needs are, whether it's a job or whether it's a further education. We do provide assistance with that through our center. We do computer classes on site. There's a lot of different things that we offer, and plus with our partners like Julie and several other agencies, we can provide, if housing is an issue for them or whatever's going on with them, we can provide through those partnerships opportunities for all of those things.
Do y'all work with the governor's faith-based initiative? Do y'all work with them much?
I do.
You do. What are they pretty involved with areas like this?
They're involved with all the different counties a lot in different ways, and there's a lot of things that people can do. Like you said, they can keep telling our representatives about wanting to be involved.
Well, yeah.
And you've got their office is involved with all sorts of things and stuff. Especially
one thing that I think I was talking to County Commissioner Anthony Johnson. I believe I think he came out, or y'all invited them. Right. Are you making sure you're reaching out to your local leaders, like your local mayor and your county commissioners, to come out?
Our mayors are very involved in the homeless and with the homeless and with people out of incarceration here in Murfreesboro. They're very involved in the workhouse. Obviously, with Superintendent Cope.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that guy, he does have a heart. You know what I mean? He really does. I talked to him. It was on something we had. I forgot what it was. I think it was. I had a bill on trash pickup and that sort of thing, and because I get calls in it every now and then about. But they say it's improved. And David Gammon. David. Okay, Dave's a great guy. David dated my sister, the one that just passed. Back when in high school. I remember, I was kidding. He had a Pinto. He said it was a Mustang. I remember it had a little red siren on top of it. He was like destined to be in emergency response. Before we shift gears with going to Jeremy here, just for the record, Julie, I think the system's broken. Well, you may not want to say nothing. Jeff may not want to say nothing. I think it's broken, and it's broken because you don't have nobody lobbying.
I think it could be improved.
No, it needs to be improved greatly.
The more we work together with everyone.
It's all about the money, baby. I'm telling you, if you're broke, you're stuck. But if you got money, you can get. And that ain't a conservative or a Republican Democrat thing. I'm telling you, if you're broke, you're SOL. And you don't want to say nothing, I know, but I'm telling you, I can say it. It's broken, but that's all the more reason why we need to connect with, our local county commissioners elected, because a lot of these folks do care. Some probably don't, And I apologize I didn't get to show up for your event. I mean,
That's okay. We're going to invite you again. Don't worry.
Well, I was like, I got to get him on the radio. I felt so bad. Even my assistant was like, dude, I can't believe you missed this. I'm like, man, I know. I just get tied up. But it was cool. My professor, who's got a doctorate in engineering, cared about mentorship. And that's what we talked about last week. Dr. Raj, he's like a TikTok celebrity. And we voted to ban TikTok, so it's kind of awkward being in this class, But a great guy. Let me, Jeff, you got any final words before I shift gears here?
Well, just that the American Job Centers are available to anybody who has a need for assistance with
the
address.
Oh, the address is 1313 Old Fort Parkway.
Yes,
in Murfreesboro. You can come in any day, any weekday from 8 to 4:30, and we're available. And you should be greeted when you come into the door by a friendly.
Why don't you set up a tour? And if you have donuts, people will show up, man. I promise you.
Hey,
Some
we'll
barbecue.
do that. We'll do that.
Can you do it next month or two?
Sure.
Just set up a tour for real. And I mean, seriously, you have some coffee in there. It helps pull people over. I mean, I've seen it. That's what these smart people in Nashville do. They get everybody to show up by feeding them.
If you're,
we had pizza the day you didn't show up.
Who was pizza provided by?
We got the pizza through. Was it Domino's that day?
Do you have any
Domino's.
sponsors? I mean, does anybody hook you up with that?
Well, a lot of times people hook up the Career Center on different things.
When I had my expungement, I got Papa John's in front of Nissan. I got them to. I think I paid for 12, and they donated me 6 pizzas.
Mr. David Steak and Shake, he's a veteran.
Oh man, he's a great guy.
Yes, he's a great guy.
You know how God used that guy. My sister, when she was in the hospital back in January, he seen me. I just pray for my sister because they were asking about do not resuscitate, and he brought a bunch of milkshakes up and fed and some hamburgers, fed the nurses, and that's here's what's so cool. Who brings milkshakes when it's freezing? And that's the one thing my sister liked was a milkshake. Thank you, Jeff Glidden, and thank you, Julie
thank you
for coming up. Okay, y'all welcome to hang out. I'm gonna shift gears and jump into Jeremy here.
Okay.
He's excited about this new job opportunity. Tell us about your new job, man.
Yeah, well, Mike, it's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks, but yeah, your audience doesn't know, but I'm sitting here still in my uniform from my shift today. I was out there at Henry Horton State Park working as a what we call an SIR. It's called a seasonal interpretive ranger. But yeah, I'm working alongside.
That's what you've been wanting to do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to go full time with the state. Been learning how to work resource management, that sort of thing. But my main shtick, being an SIR, is doing all these interpretive programs, teaching people about what makes our state awesome. There's about as many people know. There's the 3 grand divisions. There's the West, Middle, and East. I was obviously I'm in the middle here, employed by Nashville. Nashville is like you, Mike. Technically, Nashville is my boss. I was hired through them, that sort of thing.
They've been good to work with.
So, yep, so far.
My sister Vicky that passed, she always told me when I was a kid, well, when I was about 17, 18, 19, she'd say your future determined by the books you read and the people you meet.
Absolutely.
That has a lot.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. When you told me that you did you say you talked to a Rob Barrett? Did you give me? Is that who you talked to?
After finance, I talked to a couple of guys with the department.
Okay, because I think you said you talked to Rob Barrett. I did not. You talked to the director of the IP&E department.
I was talking to somebody, I can't remember who it was.
But yeah, when you said yeah, I talked to a Rob Barrett, and I was like, okay, cool. And then he was at our in-service week, our training week, and he's the director of what it's called the IP&E. I don't know, but when I heard the name Rob Barrett, I was like, he talked to that man.
That's the guy.
He talked to the head honcho. Okay, but
give
yeah,
God the glory for it, man.
Absolutely.
Well, the Bible says you have not because you ask not.
Yeah, and it's been a blessing so far, and I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I got some information talking to, or just sitting around the office, to be a fully commissioned ranger with the Tennessee State Parks.
Cool. So that's been your dream job.
It is.
Isn't it?
State Parks is a fully commissioned law enforcement job.
You're not gonna let it go to your head though.
No, but just hearing
Like,
what.
don't you know who I am?
No, absolutely not.
do
Nobody
that.
would do that. No.
Oh, I've seen it, man.
Yeah.
I think we had a caller.
Yeah.
Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, Marty.
Hey, Marty. Sorry it takes long to get to you. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing real good. I really am. You had a good show tonight. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've appreciate these folks' ministry, because that's what it is, ministry, getting them back to
Let
work,
me
be
bring up
productive.
a couple things real
Go
quick,
ahead.
Mike, if you don't care.
Go ahead.
Well, you and I have been talking about ghost stories in Smyrna for Halloween.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I've got some ghost stories for Front Street and for the old depot. And as you very well know, I got plenty of ghost stories about the
Well,
Sam Davis home.
at your house, I was over visiting you last week, and you asked that young man that was there. He told that ghost story, and I knew he's not kidding. I could tell. Will you tell it?
Yeah, the little fella, they lived with me for a while, as you remember. I
About
think.
what, 15, 16 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, seemed like
And I got
good young
them.
man.
I got them when they were about. I think one of them was 18 months, another
Oh,
one
wow.
was just about 2 years, and I had them till they were teenagers. But yeah, we had a great life together, boy. Those kids were fantastic. But anyhow, the story he told you, he was sleeping on the sofa. He liked to sleep on the sofa in front of the TV, and he'd watch it till he fell asleep. Well, one night he woke up and he came in my room, and he said, "Can I sleep with you?" And he's probably about 6, 7 years old. I said, "Yeah, what's the matter?" And he said, "Well, I was asleep, and the soldier came and he patted me on the shoulder and woke me up and asked me if I would get up. And I was scared because I didn't know what he wanted me to get up for. And then he backed away and disappeared, and I got up and came in your room. And it was a soldier. I've got a soldier, a woman, and I used to have some children here. I don't think the children.
Or is your house
anymore.
built? Is your house built on a graveyard or next to a graveyard?
Next to a graveyard? Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty wild. Now he said it was a green glow or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he said he said the soldier had a glow around him. It was a green glow, and green is very peaceful, very tranquil. That's a good color.
Is it? Sounds pretty scary to me. Green. If I seen the green ghost, I wouldn't jump in bed with you. That's for sure. I don't know what I'd do. I'd go somewhere.
Well, you need to go outside because I wouldn't let you in bed with me.
I told you after the day, I said, I'd take my chance with a ghost,
Yeah.
But he described it as some kind of, described it as a World War II helmet is what I thought. And he said that the chest area, he had something around his chest.
Uh-huh.
Which remind me of like some kind of military gear.
Well, it was. We pointed to the soldier that's in the picture I got hanging up on the wall.
Yes.
He said that was him.
Well, we'll work on that, and we'll talk more about this next week, Marty. And thank you, Julie. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jackson.
All right. Y'all
Thank
have
you,
a good
Jeremy.
one.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Thank you.
Many students